No. No. Just house September.
Yesterday we had gone to one temple, Swamiji, because Lakshu called. Then that sound too much for Nadiyamma. She's lying down.
Hari Om. Who? I can't hear. Hari Om. வந்தாச்சு. யாரு பேசுறது? சொல்லுங்க சொல்லுங்க சொல்லுங்க. ஆமா, முக்தானந்தா தான் பேசுறது. பரவாயில்ல பரவாயில்ல. இந்த இதனால கொரோனால எங்குமே போறது இல்லையே, அங்க யாரும் வர்றதும் கிடையாது. இருக்கிறவா வச்சுக்கிட்டு காலையில 5ல இருந்து 9 மணி வரை எல்லா ப்ரோக்ராமும் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கு. அங்க எப்படி இருக்கு? இப்ப ஒன்னும் முடியறதா தெரியல. ஆனா கொஞ்சம் பொறுத்து எல்லாருக்கும் ஜனங்களை அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணுவா. இல்ல கம்ப்ளீட்டா நிக்காதா இருக்கும். ஆனா எப்படி அதோட சேர்ந்து வாடுறதுங்கிறது நமக்கு ஒரு டெக்னிக் கிடைக்கும். கொஞ்சம் 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 கூட பொறுத்துட்டு இருக்கணும். நாங்க இருக்கோமே. ஃபங்க்ஷன். அதான் இப்போ கடவுள் பண்றது எல்லாமே நல்லதுக்கு தான். இதெல்லாம் நம்ம பண்றது நாளைக்கு நம்ம வெளியில உட்காந்துருந்தோம். இப்ப நம்மளா செய்ய மாட்டோம்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க, போர்சிபிளா உட்கார வச்சிருக்கார். அப்படி அதுல இருந்து பார்த்தா ஆன்மீகத்துக்கு பார்த்தா உள்நோக்கி பயணம் தேவை இல்லையா? அந்த உள்நோக்கி பயணத்துக்கு இது ரொம்ப வசதியா இருக்கும். அங்க இங்கே அலைபாயிர மனசு உள்ள போறதுக்கு ஒரு ட்ரை பண்றதுக்கு காட்சியெல்லாம் உள்ளே இருந்து கிடைக்கும். சரி, இப்ப 3:30 4:30 மணி வரை சத்சங்க சேஷன் இருக்கு. நீங்க பாக்குறதுங்களா? சரி சரி. இப்போ இந்த யூடியூப் வழியா. சரிண்ணா, சரிண்ணா. ஹரி
ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ராம ஜெய ராம் ஜெய ஜெய ராம. ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ராம ஜெய ராம் ஜெய ஜெய ராம. ஓம் ஸ்ரீ ராம ஜெய ராம் जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
राम जय राम जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय राम. ओम
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. ओम
श्री राम
Yo, Yom to everybody. Today, Papa is taking to the fourth chapter, introductory portion. The first chapter about struggle and initiation, second chapter about renunciation, third chapter about adoption of sannyas, and now the fourth chapter. Fourth. This twice it is four chapter Serangam. Otherwise, introductory article has not been considered as chapter. When we say 5, it will be 4 in the next. Here, the first para, it requires a lot of manana. The thrills of a new birth, a new life, with the sweet love of Ram was felt. A peace came upon Ramdas' struggling soul. The turmoil eased. Ram's own hands seemed to have touched the head of his slave. Ram blessed. 40 years flow on for the mere joy of a deliverance. Sorrow, pain, anxiety, care, all vanished. Never to return.
Never return back. He have all the things that are God for.
All glory to thee. All glory to thee, Ram. The great blessing came from Ram. I take thee under my guidance and protection. Remain ever my devotee. Thy name shall be Ramdas. Remain ever my devotee. Thy name shall be Ramdas. The whole chapter, the whole paragraph, is the outcome of an communion with God. Who is talking? Ram. Who is recording? Ramdas. So when you are deeply thinking about it, we remember the words of Gandhiji, because he used to have this divine message. We'll just read one portion. The first question that has puzzled many is about the voice of God. What was it? What did I hear? Was there any person I saw? If not, how was the voice conveyed to me? These are the pertinent questions. Here they sent clear, no? I take thee under my guidance and protection. I remain ever my devotee. I take thee, Ram telling Ramdas, I take thee under my guidance and protection. Remain ever my devotee. Thy name shall be Ramdas. This is the voice of Ram. The great blessing came from Ram. So how does this voice come? Gandhiji says, I saw no form. I have never tried for it. For I have always believed God to be without form. But what I did hear was like a voice from afar, yet quite near. It was as unmistakable as human voice. Definitely speaking to me and irresistible. I was not dreaming at the time I heard the voice. The hearing of the voice was preceded by a terrific struggle within me. The same thing.
Can you repeat?
Struggle. Same thing, turmoil thing. Gandhiji, same word. Suddenly the voice came upon me. I listened, made certain that it was the voice. I was calm. The determination was made accordingly. The date and the hour was fixed. Fast. He was given a command for fast. He checked up. That's right. The date and the hour of the fast fixed. Joy came over me. It was between 11 and 12 midnight. I felt refreshed. Could I give any further evidence that it was truly the voice that I heard and it was not my echo of my own heated imagination? I have no further evidence to convince this skeptic. He is free to say that it was all self-delusion or hallucination. It may well have been so. I can offer no proof to the contrary, but I can say this, that not the unanimous verdict of the whole world against me could shake me from the belief that what I heard was the true voice of God. For me, the voice was more real than my existence. 1933. One experience stands quite distinctly in my memory. It relates to my 21 days fast for the removal of untouchability. I had gone to sleep the night before without the slightest idea of having to declare a fast the next morning. At about 12 o'clock in the night, something wakes me up suddenly. Some voice within or without, I cannot say, whispers, "Thou must go on fast." How many days? I asked. 21 days. So, Papa, you can find, later on we will find. When does it begin? It says, you begin tomorrow. I went quietly off to sleep after making the decision. I did not tell anything to my companion until after the morning prayer. I placed into their hands a slip of paper announcing my decision and asking them not to argue with me as the decision was irrevocable. Well, the doctors thought that I would not survive the fast. Something within me said that I would and that I must go forward. But this kind of experience has never in my life happened before. After this, I knew that all that glitters is not gold, and all that if a man has really heard the voice of God, there is no sliding back, just as there is no forgetting it by one who had learned to swim. One can never forget, The listening in must make people's lives daily richer and richer. The inner voice defies description, but sometimes we do feel that we receive an inspiration from within. The time when I learned to recognize, it may be called my prayer time, say about 1906, I recollect it. For the first, never did I feel at any time in my life that I had some new experience. My spiritual growth has been unnoticed, like the growth of hair on our heads. Nobody has, to my knowledge, questioned the possibility of the inner voice speaking to some, and it is again to the world. Even if one's claim speak under the authority of the inner voice can be really sustained. Many may make the claim, but not all will be able to substantiate it. But it cannot and ought not to be suppressed for the sake of preventing false claimants. There is no danger whatsoever. So it's very clear, very clear for evolved souls to get that clarity that is an inner voice. And Papa also, in the first chapter, we heard, despair not, trust me, be free. And he says that was the voice of Ram. Now here, again it's clear. But we should know it precedes the struggle. The turmoil ceased. Peace came upon Ram's struggling soul. Ram's own hands, we are unable to understand this word. Ram's own hands seemed to have touched the head of his slave. Ram gave him that feeling, Beyond that, we cannot say anything. Blessing. Oh, tears flow on for the mere joy of deliverance. Pain precedes deliverance. Mothers will know better. Sorrow, pain, anxiety, care, all vanished, never to return. All glory to thee, Ram. The great blessing came from Ram. I take thee under my guidance and protection. Remain ever my devotee. Thy name shall be Ramdas. So from Vittal Rao to transition, we now take it that it is the perfection in communion with God, Perfection. It is not, superficial, surface level, emotional level, sentimental level. No. Perfection. Perfection in the communion with God is seated. Beyond that, we cannot, our intellect cannot understand. Purely at the spiritual level, this can be. It's a communion, no? It is becoming, nobody else is there. Ram and the devotee. Ram, the devotee, not as an individual. Ram and the devotion of the devotee. Ram and the devotion of the devotee. That alone can give an output like what we have now. The thing on which we have to pray from the bottom of the heart. Because later on, the same Papa writes to somebody that there is no need for an intermediary. If God can talk through Ramdas, He can talk through you as well. You cannot accuse Him of partiality. Switch on your wire for direct communication. Why do you deny Him? So the communion, definitely, first tangible gain is we are not denying Him in our heart. First thing, nearness. This is a very important aspect. The life of the journey of a devotee or a spiritual aspirant is very important.
Maybe his ceaseless prayer, Swami.
Eh?
His ceaseless prayer.
In whatever form this communion can take place, that we cannot see. It can be a prayer from the bottom of the heart. You feel the answer, you get the answer. It can be a flash, just a flash, just a sound. Because in case of Papa and Gandhiji, both of them were very clear about the impersonal aspect of God, nameless, formless. Because in Saguna Bhakti, many people are talking to the deity, and they feel they are getting the answer. But in Nirguna, so there is no other people. Ram and the devotion of the devotee. God and devotion of the devotee. And in that process, even the naming ceremony was done. Vittal Rao. Then we were wondering why Papa did not mention before Vittal Rao. Right from the start, he has used the word Ramdas. Then we come to know, when he knew, if he has to say Vittal Rao, he has to become Vittal Rao then, He is writing it after becoming Ramdas, So he is only narrating for us the period of naming ceremony, that's all. He couldn't go back to Vittal Rao's.
As Ramdas is.
Never to return, he said, In the second chapter we found, never to return. The resolution was made at 5 o'clock in the morning. He bade farewell to a world for which he had lost all attraction and in which he could find nothing to call his own. The body, the mind, the soul, all were laid at the feet of Ram, the eternal being, full of love, full of mercy. So that had taken place. So he cannot go back to Vittal Rao. And this is how everything becomes that much perfection is there. Yes, Ramdas, what a grand privilege it is to become Das of Ram, who is all love, all kindness, all mercy, all forgiveness. So this communion with God and getting direction is a confirmation of two things. One is that first he is near, then his presence is there. Second. Third one, that is the proof that we are under his control. We are totally under his control. And he said a new birth. So the baggage of the previous form of life, that was not there. Baggage has been downloaded, language completely. Now let us see the next step. This is very important. Communion with God. Today we were reading. It's a foreign book, big book. There, this much is there. That book. books that are recommended to know spirituality. They are in quest of God. And he has reviewed and says, the moment he started reading it, the first thing he felt was God is near. And there is an assurance that we can feel his presence. And the whole journey is something, that stays with us. 5-line article. We don't know him. In quest of God, മുറ്റത്തെ manamilla. In Malayalam, there is a word. We have got a jasmine plant before, we will not feel the importance. So many of us who claim to be Papa's devotees, we hardly have tasted the treasure-like nectar of this book. But many have. Many are still. Even yesterday when Varner had written to us, he wanted that book. Why we are telling, this communion, when we apply our mind, we find everything that is to be known in spirituality is contained in this small book. Apparently, it is a narrative. Apparently, it is a narrative. What is there? He went from this place to that place, this place to that. Some experience. No. It is a full text for a devotee to know what all he should know about devotion, about everything is covered here. And not as a theory, but as a narration of the practical implementation. Never at all. It's not a theory. Nowhere we find the theory. Intuition, he is not giving us a lecture on intuition or a voice. He's directly hearing it, he is placing it before us. It is up to us to develop our mind to hear the voice of God. Ravana Bhagavan used to say there are 3 types or 4 types of silence. Finally, he will say silence of the mind. So many types of silence. Now we know if we have to really hear the inner voice, you have to silence the mind. Silence is of 4 kinds. Silence of speech, silence of the eye, silence of the ear, and silence of the mind. Only the last is pure. Only the last is pure silence, and is the most important silence. Silencing the mind. We cannot explain, silencing the mind. Because thought is not there, Only at that time you will be able to hear the voice. Now when somebody has in a lighter vein said, every moment he is telling us, but we are crowding ourselves with our own voice, with the result we are not hearing his voice. So whenever somebody is in doubt, Papa used to advise them, go there, chant Ram Nam, calm the mind, and then you will hear. You will get the answer. And only that person will know whether he has silenced the mind. Just like, the dowsing pendulum is used. The indication of the pendulum, the mind also can play trick. When the mind does not play the trick, the pendulum gives some indication about the disease, about the compatibility of the medicine. Suppose I feel, when I douse the pendulum, arnica is okay. Arnica, then 30, then 200, then 1000, like 1 m. Every time the guidance comes, if that particular person's mind does not decide, it is silencing of the mind, then only the indication can directly come. We cannot explain beyond that. It has to be practiced. Just like if somebody asks you, how do you learn cycling? How do you learn swimming? We cannot explain, no. By practice it comes. Similarly, it can't be explained, only by practice it can come. Silencing the mind. So when Papa received this inner voice, clear cut, naming. We have to think about all these things today. And then now, next part. Now he came up to a dharmshala, very close to the river. Found some sadhu sitting on the floor of the passage leading out the main road. This place I forgot. Mandapam. Mandapam? There is a mandapam there, and from mandapam we get into Kaveri. Then after the bath we come back to the mandapam. Then from mandapam there is a dharmshala. Then even today many are sitting there. They were busy performing Ram Bhajan to the accompaniment of cymbals and ektar. They were singing the glorious name of Ram. Ramdas also scattered beside the two young sannyas and placed his lota, procured at Trichy, in front of him to receive bhiksha from the pilgrims who passed that way after the bath. Devotees also keep going to take a dip in the Uri. Then after that they come out. When they pass through, these people will be sitting, even today will be sitting. And people they would have changed and kept some coins ready for distribution. And then they give. Even today it is going on. Their Papa also sad. And now you see the sudden change. He also placed the lota. So far from Trichy, nobody is with him. Ram is with him, but nobody, no person is with him to give any clear-cut direction. He is absolutely new to all these things. Just imagine. And so then the prompting comes, every now and then the prompting comes, and he comes, sits there, places the lota. And then the bhajan of the two young devotees was really very sweet. Time passed most pleasantly. It was about 12 noon that the bhajan came to a close. So we all remember he started very early in the morning from Trichy. 10 kilometers, we said. 7 miles means 10 kilometers. He reached there at about 8 o'clock in the morning, had his bath, and up to this 12 o'clock, he has not had anything. Still some paisa is there. No mention about it. Here he mentions about it. Time passed most presently. It was about 12 noon that the bhajan came to a close. Looking upon the cloths spread in front of them, the young sadhus observed only three-quarter anna pieces lying on it. Three-quarter anna pieces. All they had got for the day. 1 anna is the 1/16th of a rupee. With a disappointed look, one of them remarked, "Since morning we have been singing the glory of God, and He has given us only this much. Hunger is pinching the stomach. How are we to procure food, O God? Is thy bhajan from morning till now worth only 9 pies? 1 pie is 1/12 of an anna." When we read this, we can understand the ocean will be there, everything will be there, but still the body, body is an Annamaya Kosha, it will demand. Not that they have come down to this level, but that is the demand of the body. So naturally, unknowingly the word comes. All our bhajan is only worth this. Suddenly, they are all good people. In other words, they cannot do that. Later on from when Papa did and when they confessed, it comes out. So this is also natural. Why did Papa mention this? He used to mention. As a sadhaka, all these things are natural. Devotion will be there. But at times also it comes down to the level of this body level. Because the body will demand. So the demand also will be heard by that individual. It is not belittling. This question was at once answered by Ramdas. No, young brothers, no value can be set upon your bhajan. God is always kind and loving. He never forsakes those who depend upon him. Ram has sent through this humble slave money for your food today. So saying, he dropped into the hands of the sadhu 1 rupee out of the amount he was carrying with him. The poor sadhu simply stared at him in amazement. Their eyes were filled with tears. They exclaimed, "O God, thy ways are wonderful. Pardon, pardon, pardon thy unworthy slaves. We doubted thee and thy love. In future, grant that we may never blame thee, but bear all sufferings patiently in thy name." So some tests are necessary to hasten our progress, to make more intense, and he will facilitate it in such a way that our faith in him gets doubled up. Papa, by portraying this, he is actually placing the mindset of honest devotees. It will come. Though in Papa's case, Ram ensured that this has never come throughout. He seemed to be upset only when something was denied to somebody, not to him. But at the same time, many are not privileged like that. So he cites an example. So he was having money. 1 rupee is a big amount, very big amount. on those days, in 1922. That he praises. With these words, that means Ram has sent the slave to give. When we are parting with anything, there will be a sense of doership normally, Don't worry, I have money, take it, We will share, something like that. Here the word is very clear. Ram has sent through this humble slave money for your food today. So the communion is going on, whether he attends to this bhajan or not. Every moment. This chapter talks more and more about the communion. And then the sadhu then left the place. Looking into his own lota, Ramdas discovered in it 2 pies. 192 pies make 1 rupee. Papa got 2 pies. He has given 1 rupee to them, 192 pies. Okay? 2 pies he got. His heart leaped with joy. At the sight of this tiny coin, the first proceeds of his bhiksha. Buying 2 small plantains with the coins, he ate them with all pleasure. Still 9 rupees is with him. In next chapter, still 9 rupees is with him. But he does not take that. Because the vow he has taken, henceforth, the food be, the body be maintained and fed upon the food procured by bhiksha, or on what was offered as alms. Devotion is priceless here. That's another aspect. Devotion, we may think that apparently it is priceless. We may think that we should become devoted to get this, to get that, to get this, to get that. But actually, devotion to God is priceless. That is another message he gives. We have only belief, we don't have trust. When it is done with trust, it becomes priceless. Immediately he comes and does what is needed for us. In the belief stage, no. We pray for so many things we don't get, So here he had the full trust. Trust me. That word he remembers. And so 2 pies. With that he was. You have to mentally think that you have tucked 9 rupees on your dhoti and you are getting 2 pies. And morning 5 o'clock you must have started from one place on foot, covered 10 kilometers, had your bath. Taken this, and then you are moving to, by 12 o'clock you are here. You can just imagine what would be the demand of the body? You won't say we would go for feast. Basic things will. In our case, at least a cup of coffee, one idli or one dosha, something. Here it's completely, the mind is fully filled with God thought, God thought, God thought, God thought. So that scene is over. At this time, in the same line in which he was sitting, there was another sadhu on the right, while the young sadhu coming forward inquired as to where Ramdas was proceeding. He could not, of course, find a reply to this question. Ram alone could do so. Receiving no reply, Sadhu proposed to take Ramdas with him to Rameshwaram, whither he was going. O Ram, thy kindness is indeed very great. To guide thy helpless slave, thou hast sent to him this sadhu. Why can be taken to be none other than Ram himself? From time to time, Ramdas met sadhus who not only led him on the pilgrimage, but also took every care of him. All these sadhus by Rams will go by one name, Sadhu Ram. That is how this chapter ends. The real saga begins. So what are the points? Communion with him. These are the signs of God's direct control on Papa. Voice through intuition, inner voice. Apparently self-naming, but the command of Ram. No thought about anything except immersing in bhajan. Devotion is priceless. God provides everything at the right time. Every devotee has to pass a test. Sadhus also pass to the same. Strict adherence to the vows, only the bhiksha amount accepted. Trying to expand the love circle by becoming responsive to the situation provided by God. That is also another point. No plans, everything left to him. Therefore, no anxiety. No plans, and therefore no anxiety. No mention has been made whether he went to the temple or not. Because from there, it must be 3 kilometers. It could be. Minimum 2 kilometers is there. So we started walking, it was mid 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Very hot. So from this mandapam, where Papa had Dharamshala, we had to walk. Yeah, it must be more than, because Krishna came from Chennai. He had to come by auto rickshaw. But no mention has been made about going to the temple. When he is already in communion with God, probably God did not prompt him. Though in the next chapter he goes to Rameshwaram. This is very near. Sri Rangam is a famous temple.
The father of country for return. Manada is supposed to be the father. In our song, Ho, Rangana Atmaja is coming. Son of Rangana.
It's like in Trivandrum, you can Anandashram Swami temple. He is on the live state. You can't see him in that.
Yes, don't do.
Then there is a murti there, small murti. Puja is offered to that murti. Fixed. Nowadays it's because of the pandemic now they would have stopped. Otherwise it was a tough job to get darshan. But no mention of it has been made here. Anyhow, let us leave that. Now all these points, no plans, everything, but no anxiety.
And perhaps completely dependent on Sadhuram. Sadhuram proposed. That's also one of it. Completely hand over everything to. He's also get God for him.
He started with the Sadhu Ram, whom Ram had sent him as a guide.
He told him to go to yes, like that.
He led him to the railway station. God.
No plan, Oh. This is Ram takes only.
No. That
much.
That is the point. That is the point. Because when he said, thou hast sent him to the sadhu, why? He can be taken to be none other than Ram.
Fully.
And no regret. Later on also he does not. At the same time, the other sadhu took him to Rameshwaram temple, he went. In the Tirupati, he did not take him, he did not go. In Jagannathapuri, in Chidambaram, somebody comes and takes him, he goes. Today morning in our satsang, we were mostly the impact was on that adorable presence. In that prayer, when we were repeating, adorable presence. Thou who art within and without, above and below, and everywhere. Then he starts telling, thou who art the eye of our eyes, ear of the ear, heart of the heart, mind of the mind, breath of our breaths, life of our lives, and soul of our soul. So through this, this inner presence, adorable presence, when that is felt, what else is needed? We all think about everything only when we are away from this. If this adorable presence is there, then nothing else matters. And we take the guide of this adorable presence. Wherever the guide takes us, can't be explained. This is how it had happened. Because these are all the outcome of that experience, It is not a thing to be developed. It is not ordered. It is not planned. So immediately after the sannyas, now what happened yesterday we were talking about the tradition. There is tradition, but there is no tradition. Some form of tradition is there, but tradition as we understand is not there. Papa had nobody to say this is Brahma Vidya, this is how you should go from stage to stage. It was not structured. But we found there is a structure now. Nama chanting is there, meditation is there, satsang is there, adoption of sannyas is there, Parivrajaka Yatra is there. No. And later on we find he is transcending everything. even though it is structured, when he says he has no plans, he is reminding us that it is still unstructured. No? When you are near a very famous temple, when people from different parts of the country come there and see, you are there in 10 minutes, you are there, but you are not going there. Yeah. So the structuring is not there inside. So outwardly, some structuring was there. So structuring means planning, is it not? Here he says no plans. When are you going to take us the stage? Because we have conditioned our mind to so many of this structuring. That is why we are unable to go beyond it and look. The mind is so much conditioned by the structuring. So to think about an unstructured one, it is difficult unless we struggle and do some manan to get out of it. Somewhere in the mind it will say. When somebody comes and asks, Papa, should I get married? He will say, get married. Because if you don't want to get married, you will not ask, Condition is there. But here the conditioning is not there. In our case, the conditioning is there. That is why we fail to understand the theme behind this. What is behind the two lines? What is called, in English they call between the two lines, yeah. We don't try to read between the two lines. Because we go only by the lines. Structured. Yes, he makes us to think about it. That is why you just read one chapter and then go. Because you go by the lines. You don't go by what is in between the lines. So many of these things come only between the lines when we ponder, when we do the manana, reflection. It can be unearthed. Just like we said, we learn so many things from the text and the teachers. But at the examination hall, none of them we take it. We take it from what has been contemplated upon, what has been understood by us in our own way. Then we present it. Between the lines, we make a trial to understand between the lines.
Need to mug up.
Mugging up.
Language, illegal language. English or Malayalam, Hindi language. Mug up Hindi. Mug up what is paragraph. It will come.
But then we are not gone beyond the lines.
They are not gone. It doesn't go.
Probably that is why we are struggling.
But not mathematics, science, that will not go. That I wrote. Language is out. Or mugging up only.
Here also we do that, no?
It is.
We are memorizing and
mug up.
Every line here we find, every line when we read, what is it that we have missed? What is it that is lying down? So many points were there in this apparently an innocent narrative, no? Srirangam. It looks as an innocent, no, not very deep. What is there? Normally, the title of the chapter will be something, thought-provoking. You have to think about so many things. But it contains, especially the cream of philosophy, cream of devotion, cream of spirituality, cream of spiritual progress is communion with God. And elaborately he talks about that. And here he comes with all authority, the dialogue he had, the dialogue he heard from him, the naming ceremony. That first para, the thrills of a new birth. Thrills. A new life with the sweet love of Ram was felt. Peace came upon Ramdas' struggling soul. The turmoil ceased. Ram's own hand seemed to have touched the head of his slave. Ram blushed. 40 years go on for the mere joy of a deliverance. Sorrow, pain, anxiety, care vanished, never to return. All glory to thee, Ram. The great blessing came from Ram. I take thee under my guidance and protection. Remain ever my devotee. Thy name shall be. We find this commitment he kept up till he dropped the world. Be ever my devotee.
Close convenience. Your name shall be Ram Das. Just imagine the closeness, the intimacy between Das and Ram. The voice must have been very clear. Voice must have been very, very clear. Close.
See, elsewhere, elsewhere also he said, don't disturb. This is not a good manners. The dialogue was there with him. When Ramdas is talking to somebody, you should not disturb. What sort of relationship,
Unheard.
The more, so now it's clear, whatever may be our spiritual discipline we are undergoing. We know now, I don't want anything, I only want a communion with him. I want to feel your presence. He said elsewhere, the 4 steps: nearness, presence, vision, becoming one. Samipya, Sannidhya, Vyapanam, Ekatvam. 4 stages. So if I have first stage, I must remember, I must feel the nearness, Then only I can feel his presence. In our case, Ramnam or Bhajan or Satsang or anything is an attempt to feel the nearness. It is very clear now where we have been lacking, which are the areas where we have to improve now. It is very, very clear. When I chant Ramnam, am I feeling the nearness? That alone can lead us to have the taste of his presence. adorable presence. And every now and then we
talk to him, when you pray to him,
eh?
when you talk to him, when you pray to him.
Prayer is a talk, you know.
So just like you and me, you can talk to him, you know.
See, now you see, oh Lord of the universe, oh Creator, Protector. But here the problem is, when we say that, why the mind is going out, you know, we are not very clear.
That is not our prayer. Our original prayer, our community, our
one should shout one's own prayer.
No.
But for that, we are being asked by Mahatmas to repeat some prayer so that we will develop our own way of prayer. But nowadays, when we pray, when we repeat Papa's prayer, universal prayer, it becomes far more effective now. We are in whatever way we can pray now. O Lord of the universe, O Creator, Protector, Destroyer of the world, I come in all humility to Thy holy feet and would like to surrender myself.
Then would be problem. Are we surrendering of the all humility entirely? That comes, you know.
Suddenly he reminds, hey,
humility, like parrot, like no humility, very humility.
Then again, entire.
Are you?
Papa, you should not have added that two words the first. We are not yet ready. So we would like. So we will not give much importance to the two words. It's difficult for us now. Oh, merciful divine master, give me strength. That's all. So it's a dialogue. So we close our eyes and bring. Papa also said, you know, if mind is not behaving well, bring any form initially. Then go beyond that form. Nothing wrong. You have to go beyond it. You can keep the form also, provided you don't localize or limit it to that particular.
I'm not keeping form. No. That great void is there before you, right behind before you. No form, no form. Everywhere.
Let all these thoughts, you know, he is not forcing down upon our throat. He is placing before us his own experience. We try in our own way to develop a communion. We can take it, that is the message. A deep contact, you know? Even if it is for a minute or two. Let every day go only with at least some period of communion with him. That will slowly ensure the nearness, which will direct us to feel his presence.
But we are always with Papa only, na? Only we are 1 hour spent with Papa only.
So let us all try. With a deep prayer. Prayer of power of the prayer we have already discussed. Tomorrow, if you are again reminded, we will again discuss about the power of the prayer. How it takes us from one stage to another stage. And definitely, all these things are to be intensely carried out. Impact of which will remain in the non-chanting, non-practicing time. Let us all pray for it. Who is seated within and who is facilitating everything for us. Who is giving us the feeling that he is taking us by hand and leading us. Those at times we are conscious of it, at times, you know, we look at something else and we crave for that. Again, every day he brings and makes us know that He is holding our hand. Let that become stronger and stronger and stronger. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om
Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Ram Hari Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram.
He's showing us in every time. I'm only getting, I am doing. I said, I'm not doing, Everything only I am doing. You are not doing. Even though, every time. அனுபவமே தெரியாது இருந்தாலும் இருக்க மாட்டேங்குது